Hey everyone, it is Jen and it's 8:45, so we are going to get started with the second live Q&A for the year. So February 2nd one. If you are joining for the first time tonight, know that we are planning on doing a live question and answer event focused on one particular frugal living topic every month, and it will be the third Tuesday, the last Tuesday. You guys are probably going to hear my dogs. They're running back and forth, and my husband's up and down the stairs. So we are at home. You will probably hear that. But anyhow, we are planning on doing that the last Tuesday of every month, except for in March. It's spring break here, so I'm planning on doing that the actual third Tuesday of March. So we are going to jump in tonight. The topic is budgeting, and we were going to focus on basically any of your budgeting questions. And I actually have one question that isn't a budgeting question, but it kind of does pertain a little bit to it. And the overall topic that I wanted to cover just a little bit before we get into the questions were about how to increase your income or decrease your debts. And this has really been a question that I get a lot, and I did get it 2 times this go around, so this will actually cover 2 of the people's questions. And they were basically asking, is there ways to reduce your household debt no matter what type of debt it is? And I think what basically the idea is how can I save on my electric and how can I save on my credit card bills? So there are ways to do either. You can, first off, if you have an electric bill, I actually have a post on my blog about different ways to save on your utility bills. And there's even some assistance for some people that are lower income. And my number one tip for electricity use is really just to keep it at a standard temperature all day long. If you have a programmable thermostat, set it. And wear extra clothes in the winter, and definitely, take off some clothes. That sounds really weird, but take off some clothes in the summer, dress for the season. And my other tip for oil is to think about going on the budget plan. If you have actual heating oil that you use, that's a really big expense. Think about going on a budget plan with them. You are paying for it when you're not necessarily using it, but it does lighten that load evenly throughout the whole entire year. Instead of being $400 for 100 gallons, it's only going to last you maybe 2 months. So those are my 2 for heating. Now, if you're on the other side and you're trying to figure out how you're supposed to lessen your debt expenses, well, first of all, it's a lot harder to do credit card debt just because of the fact that you have things going against you. You have interest rates, daily compounding interest rates sometimes going against what you have actually putting on the card. So if you make a $20 payment, you probably notice that it doesn't go down $20, your available balance. You notice that maybe it only goes down $10 in most cases. And that's because you have an interest rate, and they're taking that interest rate charge and using it towards whatever it is they do, probably to put it towards somebody else's debt, to fund somebody else's debt, I should say. So know that when you are trying to decrease your debt, you do have that force working against you. And the best way to actually tackle credit card debt is to, number one, put any extra money you have towards the lowest payment. And that you'll see if your lowest payment is $20 and you can put maybe 15 or even 18, just an odd number towards it, you'll notice that it will start to go down slowly. My second thing is that I did a little research over the weekend actually on debt consolidation, and I still cannot recommend that because what happens is that you see the increase, like your monthly bills will go down, but the reason it goes down is because they're stretching it out over a longer period of time. And that's really actually not beneficial to you because over that the longer part of time, you are actually paying more of the interest rate. So they stretch it out and you pay more money over the amount of time, but not necessarily, again, beneficial. So those are my two different things for bringing your expenses down. Obviously, you can cut things. You can try to sell a vehicle if you have an extra one. You can call your car insurance company and your life insurance company and ask if you can get lower rates. Use student discounts if you can. Another way to cut is, cut the cable if you can, keep the internet. Netflix, Hulu, the Roku, Amazon just came out with their own type. I think it's called Amazon Flash or some sort. So cable is not necessary. And if your husband likes sports like mine does, we still have cable, and I'm trying to get him to cut it. But if you really do feel you and your husband are comfortable doing that, then I suggest that you party at a friend's house on Sunday nights if that's what you need to do. So there are some ways that I suggest cutting debt. Now, the other question arose to me, how do I increase my income? I already work 40 to 50 hours a week. I really, need to be home with my children. And there are actually a couple of ways you can do this. And I think it kind of depends on what works for your family. Number one, how we have done it in the past when we needed to increase our income and I'm still staying home, is to kind of sell things in your house. I know that sounds kind of funny, but just sell anything that you don't need. It's clearing clutter, it's making your life more simplified, and it's giving you money. My husband and I never sold our textbooks back, and we sold all of our textbooks back that were sellable like 5 or 6 years down the road, and we made a good chunk of change from that. We got rid of old video game systems and video games, so you can make a lot of money by selling things you're not actually using. Kids consignment sales are amazing to do that with. If you have a toddler and you're not having any more kids, sell their clothes, and you can make a really good amount from doing that, even with the consignment taking a commission of that. So those are two really good ways. If you can somehow get the second job, I would go for that and just start saving the money. Paying off debt if you have debt, and then saving money if you have money to save. And then the third thing is contact maybe a direct sales company. I know a lot of people are kind of leery of that, but I will tell you probably 50% of the women that I know in my life have done it, and they've made good money while they've been able to sell. And I think if you stick with one and you give it your go, you have it there. So those are my 3 tips for maybe increasing your income. We are going to go ahead and get to the questions now, and I'm excited about some of them. So the very first question we had that isn't necessarily a budget question, but I do want to answer anyway because they asked it and I said I would answer any questions, is from Ellen, and she asked, where do I get coupons that are not in the Herald Mail? Now, if you're watching this and you're not local, our newspaper is called the Herald Mail, and coupons are regional. We actually live in a really kind of diversified region where we get probably 5 different newspapers or 6 different newspapers on a Sunday when the coupons come out. Actually, one local state gets their coupons on Saturday, and they can get an early preview of it. And I've actually gotten that before. So, Ellen, to answer your question, I get my coupons from the Washington Post because they geographically and regionally have higher coupon values and also more of a variety. Another great source is the Baltimore Sun, and if you're in Pennsylvania, the Record Herald actually does deliver on Saturdays and has the same comparable amount and values to the Washington Post. So that answers that question. To just further that a little bit, I only buy one Washington Post and one Herald Mail, and then I ask friends, neighbors, and family to give me the ones that they're not going to use. And it works for me, so I think it would work for anybody. I get a lot of coupons, and I'm still actually able to give some away when I teach classes. So I hope that answered your question, Ellen. The second question is from Lauren A, and her question reads, how much should you save? What percent if you have credit card debt? Should you still have the same amount or put it on the credit card first? So this is really funny too, because I'm doing a budgeting series on the blog right now. And if you don't know, the blog is at thenifty50lady.com. And in my posts, I pre-write some posts. One is entitled 80, 20, 70, 30, the percent game. And this is a big thing when you are researching how to budget and hearing all these different types of methods thrown at you. There is actually something called an 80-20 and a 70-30% budget. So I kind of do a very weird mixture of budgeting. I zero-based budget, so I take our income and then I tally all of our debt until it gets to zero. What we choose to do, and how I recommend and do this for all my people or all my clients, I call them clients, but it's weird. All of the people that I help budget is that once we have taken all of the main utilities and main expenses, so any type of mortgages, any type of utilities, and any type of daycare and groceries, I take their leftover and then I divide that into percentage. So I normally take whatever is left over and then divide that 20-10. Now, I take the 20% and put that towards debt, and I take the 10% and put that towards savings, or split 10, 5 and 5 and do savings and tithing. So the reason why is because if you are living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have a lot of income coming in, you're not really liquid in your assets, then what I just choose to do is why make you live off of 70% and save 20 and give 10 away if you really can't do that. So my recommendation is if you are living paycheck to paycheck, go ahead and zero-base budget everything. And you can find out how to do that on my blog as well. And then from there, take that leftover and split it up 20-10. So if you have, $200, 20% of that is going to go straight to your debt and pay that off. Now that is in addition to the payments that you're already making. So if you're paying $40, then you're just going to add that 20% onto your debt, and then take the other 10 and divide it 5 and 5, or however it is that you need to do. I would love to one day be able to live on 50% of my income or our income as a household, and then put 50 away to tithe, save, and put into retirement. But right now that's not feasible. So I just recommend doing what is comfortable for your living situation, and don't necessarily let the numbers throw you off. Just start putting what you can away. But I do suggest tackling your debt before you would tackle too much of your savings. I always think you should have a really nice cushion, maybe like $1,000 if you can, but saving too much right away is never going to get you ahead in lowering your monthly expenses. So Lauren, I hope that answered your question. And I'm going to check just to make sure that I don't have any other questions coming in, and I don't right now. So I'm going to grab a drink too. The next question is from Amber K. And her question is, what are tips and advice you have on savings or stocking up for babies and toddler needs? And where are the best stores to get those type of deals? And I really do consider this a budgeting question, because there's kind of a method to the madness when you're having a new family member, no matter if you're having a baby or adopting or having a grandma come live with you or anything like that. There is a method to how you should treat a new family member. So my very first thing is that nationally, I think it's Consumer Reports puts this out, and a family usually spends about $100 per family member per month on groceries and diapers, and so personal care needs and hygiene. So if you have a family of 4, you should be spending about $400. They say that the top max of that is if you have a family of 6, you should be spending, $600 and then additionally, but that's give or take, and everybody to their own depending on your dietary needs. So what I like to do is base that when we had a new child, we didn't really increase our grocery budget. Actually, we decreased it. But I did take about $100 from the time that we knew that everything was really pretty much a go, that we were going to have the baby, until he got here, and we stocked that kind of away, or we used it to stock up on diapers and things like that. So I would say try to train yourself as soon as you realize that you're having a baby or you're welcoming a new family member. Try to train yourself to take $100 from your expenses somewhere. And if that means, saving up $100, that's great. If you don't want to go ahead and buy things in advance, perfect. But start to live like you are doing that as soon as you find out that everything is good. My second tip is stocking up. This is really tricky because for me, it was real simple. I knew that I was going to use a certain brand of diapers and I was going to try to nurse. It was great. But when you talk to a lot of people, they're like, well, you shouldn't stock up on this and you shouldn't stock on that because of babies. Sometimes babies are really sensitive. So if you do choose to do, stock up on certain brands of diapers or anything like that, just save your receipts to the stores and then you can return them and exchange them if you need be. Don't open them, keep them in their package. So that is my one tip for that type of stocking up. But otherwise, I would say just really look for sales on any type of baby needs, really. And two times a year, there are semi-annual baby sales everywhere, and that's January and usually the end of June, beginning of July. They will do 2 big baby sales, and it's kind of nice because during that time, there's usually really good promotions on the bigger equipment that you would need. Another type of stocking up that I normally do is I go to local consignment sales and buy in advance for the child. And normally, even if you just go like maybe one size up, or if your person is a little smaller, go just like stay with the current size, because you're getting the clothes for a really good deal. If they outgrow them, you can always resell them before they are worn. So they would be one of my 2 really good tips, and that's what we personally do. And what are the best stores for stocking up on those types of deals? Honestly, I get most of my baby care goods at 3 places, and that is going to be CVS. Normally has a really good promotion where if you spend $20 on their diapers, not CVS brand, it's usually either Huggies or Pampers, you get $5 back. So you're already down to 15, and then there's always coupons normally floating around, either coupons.com or in the flyers, or even on their websites, manufacturer websites. You compare that with some coupons, and you really do get a really nice savings at CVS on diapers. Let's see, Target. Again, for their diapers, they have the really big pack of diapers, and for those, they usually offer, I think it's a $24.99 is one of the smaller, bigger packs. Smaller, bigger packs. Makes a lot of sense. You buy 2 of those, and usually I get it when they do the $10 gift card offer, and combine those with coupons as well. Another tip that I have is if you have at any time at all possible for baby needs, make your own baby food. I cannot tell you how much I saved because we didn't make our own baby food with my oldest. We both worked full-time, and I actually really didn't even know about it. I just wasn't in that type of, I guess, setting to even think about making my own baby food. And when I had this little guy, my recent one who's 2 now, I was like, oh, you can make your own baby food. That makes so much sense. And it's so simple. I did it on Sunday nights when I would get home from Sunday dinner. And I prepped for a whole entire week. I did it for under $20 every week, under $20, which is really good because it was fresh fruit and veggies. It was amazing. So if you can at all swing that, I would suggest making your own. But if you can't, one of the places that I know is really good to shop for baby food normally is Target. They always have some type of promotion where if you buy so many, you get so many free or things of that nature. And the last place that I would recommend is sometimes Costco and Sam's Club. If you go for their brand of anything, it's going to save you money. And a tip about those is that those places actually have them are manufactured, their products are manufactured in that bigger box stores. So they put their name on it, Kirkland or Members Mark, but actually it's really either Huggies or Pampers. And I think Kirkland is Huggies brands, and I'm not sure what Members Mark is. So you're really actually getting the same product, just cheaper. Now, I know there's something going on about their wipes. Maybe it was Sam's Club's wipes. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But I would say, you know, I don't know if they're manufactured, but I know that the diapers actually are manufactured in the bigger box manufacturer's factory. So I would just say that, and make sure that when you do register for your baby, no matter if it's your first baby or your second baby or your fourth baby, make sure you're registering for things that you do need, that are necessities. I see that a lot for first-time moms. They don't register for like the common sense things. Now it's exciting and you want to have, you know, the little baby and it's your first time experience things. But you don't need every type of, you know, fancy dancy warmer and fancy dancy nail clipper. And you really don't need to have baby proofing stuff until later down the road. And that's another thing you can find at consignment sales actually. So really think about your registry when you are registering, because these are things that are given to you for free that you don't have to spend your money on. And if you ask for diapers and you ask for wipes and you ask for, you know, the things that the babies need the first couple of months, then I think that it would be smarter than asking for things like sippy cups and playthings that are way down the road. So those are my tips for stocking up for baby. And again, just try to live with that $100 deducted. And even if you don't think you'd be spending $100 right away on formula or anything, just remember you do have hospital bills that will be coming in, unless your insurance covers them 100%. And if you do, I want your insurance. But most likely there's going to be some type of expense, even if it's, you know, just transitioning, you know, while you're off work for a couple of weeks. You're not going to be getting all of your pay most likely. So try to save up that $100, and if you can, perfect. That's what I would suggest. I'm going to check and make sure that we do not have any more questions. It does not look like we have any more questions for this evening. And I thank everybody that asked. I had again, I'm increasing the number of questions every time we do this, so thank you so much for that. If you are viewing this and don't know right now, I'm doing a giveaway, just a small little giveaway, and I think it's probably really cold. It's for a junior, Wendy's Junior Frosty keychain. It's really cold now in our area for this, but during the summer the kids will love it, and that's why I decided to, you know, get it for the kids if you have kids. So you can come over. We'll be doing a daily question to enter to be able to win that. And it's on my Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/niftythrifty lady. And if you have any more budgeting questions, please feel free to email me or message me. Check out the blog for the remainder of the month. I have got obviously a percent talking about percentages coming up, and I also have 2 more posts on budgets to round out this month. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you again for watching, and have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.